there are creatures that seem to defy nature's universal law, death itself. In the quiet depths of the ocean, a tiny jellyfish can reverse its own biology, returning to the innocence of youth. Beneath the cracked earth, a lungfish seals itself in mud, its heart slowing to a whisper that outlasts drought and decay. From frozen forests to desert silence, some beings do not die, they simply pause existence. Could intelligence be hidden in the ability to outsmart time itself? In the world of biology, death is not always a full stop sometimes, it's a comma. Evolution has granted certain species the ability to bend life's timeline, to hibernate, regenerate, or even reverse aging itself. These aren't myths or miracles. They are biological strategies coded deep within DNA, perfected over millions of years of survival. To understand them is to glimpse nature's most radical experiment. How far can life go to preserve itself? Behind every cell that freezes, every heartbeat that refuses to fade, lies a deeper question. Does the will to live come from instinct, or something we might dare to call intelligence? Top 8. The tardigrade, the indestructible wanderer. Smaller than a grain of sand, the tardigrade is perhaps nature's ultimate survivor. It endures radiation, boiling heat, freezing vacuum, and even the void of space. When conditions turn lethal, it dries out completely, curling into a cryptobiotic state where metabolism halts for decades. Yet one drop of water revives it again. The tardigrade doesn't just survive death, it waits for life to return. Its strength is quiet, patient, eternal. Top 7. The snake, the skin that never dies. Across deserts and forests, snakes embody the philosophy of renewal. As their old skin dulls and tightens, they shed it, whole eyes clouded, body constricted, until they emerge gleaming, renewed. Shedding is not just growth. It's an act of letting go, a biological metaphor for evolution itself. Life's wisdom lies not in resisting change, but in peeling away what no longer serves survival. Top 6. The sea cucumber, the alchemist of the deep. When threatened, this soft-bodied creature performs a grotesque miracle. It ejects its own organs, distracting predators while new ones grow inside. This process, called evisceration, is both sacrifice and rebirth, a brutal act of preservation. Its body literally remakes itself from within, proving that intelligence in nature isn't confined to the brain. It can exist in the body's capacity to rebuild, to transform destruction into survival. Top 5. The axolotl, the eternal regenerator. Deep beneath Mexico City, in the ancient waters of Xochimilco, lives a salamander that refuses to grow old. The axolotl never fully matures. Its gills remain, its body stays young, and when wounded, it regenerates entire limbs, even parts of its brain. Scientists study its genes to unlock the secrets of regeneration. But perhaps the axolotl already knows what we have forgotten. Evolution favors those who embrace imperfection as the path to renewal. Top 4. The wood frog, the frozen resurrection. In the Arctic tundra, winter is not a season, it's a trial. Yet the wood frog meets it head-on by freezing solid. Ice crystals fill its body. Its blood ceases to flow. Its lungs fall silent. But come spring, warmth awakens the heart, and the frog thaws back to life. Its body produces glucose that acts like antifreeze, protecting cells from destruction. Between death and rebirth lies a secret harmony, a frozen intelligence that understands the rhythm of time itself. Top 3. The opossum, the deceiver of death. In a moment of danger, when teeth flash and claws close in, the opossum collapses, eyes open, tongue out, heart nearly stopped. It emits the scent of decay, fooling predators into leaving. This theatrical stillness is more than instinct. It's an evolutionary performance perfected over millions of years. Playing dead is not weakness, but survival through illusion, a reminder that sometimes, to stay alive, nature must become a master of deceit. Top 2. The lungfish, the sleeper beneath the dust. When drought turns rivers to cracked deserts, the African lungfish does not perish, it waits. Encased in a shell of hardened mucus, it slows its heartbeat, lowers its metabolism to nearly zero, and sleeps through years of desolation. This state, called adaptation, is a living limbo where life holds its breath against extinction. Beneath the silence, it teaches us something profound. Intelligence is not only the ability to act, but the wisdom to endure. Top 1. The immortal jellyfish, Turritopsis dohrnii. In the still waters of the Mediterranean drifts a creature that breaks every rule of life and death. When threatened by starvation or injury, the immortal jellyfish performs the impossible. It rewinds its biological clock. Each cell transforms back to its earliest form, rejuvenating into youth again and again. Scientists call it transdifferentiation, but it feels more like reincarnation. Perhaps immortality isn't about living forever, but about knowing when to begin again. Each of these creatures bends the boundary between life and death, not by magic, but through evolution's most ingenious experiments. In them, we find reflections of our own longing to persist, to adapt, to outsmart the inevitable. What if the struggle against death is the oldest form of intelligence? In laboratories across the world, scientists dissect these anomalies, searching for the algorithms of life itself. Behind every jellyfish that reverses age, every frog that freezes and awakens, lies a code written not in thought, but in adaptation. Intelligence, in its purest form, may not belong to the mind, it belongs to the cell. Cells are decision makers. When faced with starvation, they redirect energy to protect the genome. When frozen, they alter their chemistry to resist rupture. This isn't instinct as we define it, it's computation in biology, a system that senses, calculates, and acts to sustain itself. Evolution, then, becomes not just a process of selection, but a dialogue between survival and awareness. Neuroscientists now suspect that intelligence begins long before the brain in the quiet logic of molecular choices. The axolotl's regeneration, the tardigrade's suspension, the lungfish's sleep, each represents a different solution to the same question. How do we continue when the end arrives? Perhaps immortality isn't a fantasy, but a biological negotiation, a series of clever compromises between decay and persistence. The jellyfish doesn't conquer death, it redefines it. The frog doesn't escape time, it waits for time to change. And so, the line between cognition and survival begins to blur. Nature has found 1,000 ways to think without thought, to reason without reason, proving that intelligence is not the privilege of the mind, but the signature of life itself. Every organism in this story has faced death and found a loophole. The immortal jellyfish rewinds time, the frog freezes, the lungfish sleeps through centuries, yet none of them seek eternal glory, nor do they fear oblivion. Their intelligence is not human ambition, it is surrender. They survive by yielding, by adapting to nature's pulse rather than fighting it. Perhaps that's what we've forgotten. Humanity chases immortality through technology, while the simplest creatures achieve it through balance. They don't dominate the world, they synchronize with it. Their intelligence is not measured in neurons, but in harmony, a kind of wisdom written into the logic of survival. In them, we glimpse a haunting truth. To endure, one must sometimes die, in part, to be reborn anew. Whether by shedding skin, freezing blood, or resetting cells, they show us that survival isn't about defiance, it's about transformation. So maybe the secret of life has never been about escaping death, but about learning to dance with it. Across oceans, deserts, and frozen forests, these creatures whisper the same message. Death is not an ending, only a shape that changes. Every drop of blood, every cell, carries the memory of survival written in evolution's script. So as you watch them cheat extinction again and again, ask yourself, what truly makes life intelligent? The will to think, or the will to continue. If these minds can outsmart mortality, what might we become once we learn their secret?